not small errors. Did you have approvals for the variation?
I had written recommendations from the planning department signed by
Prof, did you get the variation approved?
I did not get the variation approval, but the expenditure was not incurred.
Sorry?
The expenditure was not incurred.
Meaning?
Meaning that what we had put as a variation, that money was not spent because no sooner, I think that's the time I left the university.
Auditor, was the money spent or not?
Mr. Chairman, the money was spent, and then, of course, read that the construction was abandoned, and they started a new gate.
Chairman, at that point,
I want us to understand, to agree on something here. Give us a proper narration. You advertised for a gate for 4.8 million.
Yes.
Okay? You put a contract on site, right? Midway, you realize that you needed to include a few other things, right? So you asked the person to make of the money was paid.
Yes.
Which translates to how much?
To 9.2.
9.2 million.
Yes.
And works what percent?
that's 100%.
60%.
60%. Now, professor had left. Who paid?
Chair, a correction. The amount is 4.7.
Okay, call it 4.7. So who paid? Who executed this contract?
Chair, the former VCD, and the money was paid, the last payment in 2017, July.
Do you have the vouchers?
We have the certificates.
No, I want the voucher. Payment vouchers. Yes, Honorable Sir.
Where is the procurement person?
Sorry?
You're the procurement person. Give the procurement person the mic.
But, honorable members, let's get some guidance so that we proceed well. We want to know who paid the payment or you did not.
Chairman, the contract was 4.8. The variation brought the 33%. The documentation from the quality, the QS and the architect, and I'm just seeing the documents now, quite some time back. They were approved on 31st of July 2017. Yes.
By whom?
Approved by myself.
So you are the one who approved the payment?
Yeah.
All the payments, 9.2.
I can't ascertain because I didn't have access to these documents. I didn't have access to these documents. I've not had access to them for the last 7 years.
Okay, so the contract was executed by Professor Ayiro. Yes, Honorable Kakai, now you may proceed.
Procurement person, you were there during this period?
Honorable Chair, I was not in also during that specific period.
But since you knew you're coming to this meeting, looking at your procurement file,
yes, Honorable.
What was the actual value to the last thing that was paid?
Honorable Chair, Honorable House, the payments that were done were really for the contract, not on the variation. There were 3 fee notes. The first fee note, Chair, was paid 2 point particular amount. Then the second fee note also came to around 2.6 or so. So the third fee note.
Procurement.
Yes,
say 2 point so or so. We are talking about public funds. Be clear and specific about the amounts you are addressing.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chairman.
Let him finish. For the benefit of time, just rush us through. What is the total you paid, or what is the total on your file?
The total amount paid, Honorable Chair, is 4.7. But that was the contract, part of the contract, not really the variations.
So in your...
So no variation, Chair, were executed and even paid for.
So variation is not in your file?
Yeah, it's not in the file. There were only applications for variations that never went through.
So again, that will bring us to the vouchers, so that we really understand what was paid. Or are you trying to tell this House
Yes, Chair.
that sometimes procurement is done in the executive office, in the VC's office? Sometimes you're out of the loop. Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
Because the professor says, the former vice chancellor says, he paid it plus at a 3% variation. In your files, you're saying that was not sorted out.
Yeah, okay, Honorable Chair, I think when it comes to payments fully, the documents are really in finance, but I'm privy to them as part of, yeah.
But any payment is initiated by procurement, getting the receipt note, etc., attaching the PO and the remaining schedule. How would finance pay without you initiating any payment?
They are there, and I'm part of the system in terms of doing the payment, Honorable Chair. The issue here is that, again, this particular work was done in some years that some of us came in the other day, but we have the records and the payment forgers. As I knew I was coming here, went through and realized that there were 3 fee notes. One of them was not applied, one of them was never done at all, but the first 2 were paid.
So you're disputing auditor's query?
Yeah, through fees.
You are disputing the auditor?
Through my...
Because it has consequences. No, I want us to be on the same page, Mr. Procurement. What's your name again?
I'm Wilson Bates,
so,
Chair,
in your view,
Chair.
the opinion of the auditor is not right? We've had this before, and we've gone that route, and it did not end well.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, that on the records that I have, is that variations were not paid.
So you are putting to us that no variation was paid?
Yeah, they were only applied for.
You are on record that no variation was paid?
I'm certain, sir. I'm certain.
You are certain?
Yeah.
Suppose we challenge you, otherwise?
Up to where I am and what I know, to my knowledge, up to where I am now, is that only 4.7.
Relax.
Honorable Chair.
Just relax. Auditor. No, first before the auditor. Professor, did you pay for this?
Sorry, Chair. I had written for access to these documents, but I just want to read this.
Were you given access to these documents?
No.
Why?
I'm seeing them now, but...
No, wait. Why? Prof, why didn't you facilitate that? So you wanted the professor just to come or you wanted him to fail?
No, Honorable Chair, I think if you can confirm, Prof, you received an invitation.
Just a letter of invitation from Moi University and also from the Secretariat, but there was no documentation.
Did you ask for it?
Yes, I did.
Through whom?
In my letter to Honorable Chair, to your Secretariat, that I was pleading for the document so that I would prepare myself.
Did you raise it to the VC?
No, the VC's letter came after I had gotten communication to come here. So I thought it was just a follow-up.
So did you pay? Do you remember paying?
Yeah, I just want, Chair, with your permission, seeing these documents, a payment was done on 5th of May of 2,013,000 Kenyan shillings, which I approved on signature, and this was under certificate number given to me by the architect. The second payment was on 31st of July 2017, as Professor Kosgey had said, of 2,687,000. Again, paid against a certificate and issued to me, detailed by the quantity surveyor of the university. And I approved the payment on 16th of August 2017. That's the last. I did also, I would like to inform this Honorable House that I did approve the variation, but it was never carried to payment stage, and then I left Moi University. So that's my position.
Auditor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What we are saying is that the amount which had already been paid as per our report is 4,818,280, which of course, as we have stated earlier, was 92% complete.
Auditor, was the variation paid?
The variation, no, they paid 4.8 million.
Was the variation paid?
They didn't pay.
Okay. Is the project complete?
The project is not complete, it's stalled.
Prof, why would you pay for a project more than what the contractor has done?
Honorable Chair, by this time, the project was complete in the initial contract. And so we then wanted a pantry house and an office, 2 buildings next to the gate. That's what caused the variation.
No, Prof.
Yes.
The auditor is talking of the monies you paid.
Yes.
The project you paid for is left at 60%. We now not going into that variation.
Okay.
The auditor is talking about the project, the initial project.
I'm not sure. That's why I really needed documentation, because I also know there was no way you...
What we are trying to say, Prof, you overpaid for a project, one that was not completed, but you paid the full amount.
I cannot ascertain because I don't have that documentation.
Prof, the auditor is telling you, he's our prosecutor.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay, Professor?
I'm saying if that's the auditor's position, I abide by it, but I know this last payment that we are doing, the contractor had actually done what was initially expected of him.
Auditor? The 60%, is it the overall including variation or the initial contract?
The 60% is on the initial contract.
So the gate was not finished?
It was not finished, but the payment was actually full payment.
Prof, it is either we have a gate or there's no gate. Professor Kosgey, is there a gate?
Honorable Chair, members, we have a gate. That,
this specific one?
This specific one is still standing.
Is it complete?
No. I think there's an aspect to it.
Wait,
Chairman.
is it complete?
No.
Professor Ayiro.
Chairman, possibly when he is answering the same,
it shouldn't be combining with all other matters which pertains to that gate. Because we have been meant to understand that the gate was abandoned, and there must have been a quality, whatever quality surveyor of the university, and the architects too, who had come up with this gate. And they knew that the gate was supposed to be placed where, so that at least the university cannot incur any loss in case of it happens to be either on the Keller Road or any other place. And the professor at the same time tell us why he paid for a complete job, yet the job was not complete as you're asking him. And then also tell us why he decided to build a gate on a place which was not viable or which was at the wrong place. Because we understand from the current professor, the reason why the gate was moved to another site is that this one was found to be standing on a road, public road. And there were surveyors and other qualified people in the same university, of which the university is also teaching the same degrees. And it happened that now, he behaved like just a peasant in the village who can just plant and building his farm wherever he wants. And the professor also give us that idea of why the gate was moved.
Prof, it's alleged that the location of the gate was wrong. And since when, have you been there since you left?
Yes, of course. May I clarify that?
No, have you been there?
Since I left Moi, no.
Yes.
No.
That gate was abandoned, and with an allegation that the location was bad on Akera Road or something. Then another one was constructed.
Sure.
Now, the concern of the committee is, didn't you have people to do some reconnaissance or something of that kind?
Chair, even more, more important question is, normally in government, when before payment, there's supposed to be an evaluation team to go and look at the work completed and stages, and then report, and then now tell the Vice Chancellor to pay. I don't know whether there were these stages, because I'm very sure there were two stages when you pay. Did you pay on the recommendation of a committee or a subcommittee?
Can you answer all those questions?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. First of all, we need to get the picture clear. When I went to Moi University, there was a gate. And this gate we are talking about was built where that gate is. So if there are other evaluations that place the gate elsewhere, anybody who has gone through Moi University knows where the gate was placed by the founders of that university. And that's where we put the gate. We did not move a meter away from there. And I got this from the planning and the master plan of the university. If there were other shenanigans about the location of a gate, I submit I would not know.
Prof, shenanigans is not parliamentary language.
I withdraw.
There's no shenanigans here. Nobody is shenaniganing.
No, I withdraw. But I'm saying...
I apologize, please.
I apologize, Chair.
Proceed.
So we put that gate where the existing gate, where the original gate was, superimposed, restructured it, but in the same location. If Kera and other documents indicated that the gate was off, then that was done 30 years, 40 years before some of us went there.
Okay, go to the next question.
That's my position. On the payments, I would like us to, and that's why I was seeking for the documents. And for example, the letter of 5th May 2017 from the chief architect of the university to the vice chancellor, forwarded here with, please find certificate number this, dated this, for Kenya shillings 2,013,000, only payable to Competency Group Limited. The certificate is to be paid as follows. And they detailed, and the total amount. So I approved this for finance to pay. So there was a committee that assesses and gives up. I think, Chair, maybe the point of, I have to use my word, the point of difference is when we desired now to have a pantry and an office, 2 buildings on the site. So I submit that that's what then caused the variation. But according to the documentation, no payments were done beyond the 4 million.
But Prof, we have agreed that no payment was done beyond 4 million. But the 4 million you paid was 92%. Okay? Work done was 60%. Are we together? So the auditor is talking about the original contract. They did. Yeah, honorable members, Honorable Ruto applied to be enjoined as amicus, a friend of the committee. And Honorable Ruto, introduce yourself, and I hope you'll abide by the rules of being amicus.
Thank you, Chair. I'm CPA Ruto, Member of Parliament, Kazes constituency, where the institution Moi University is situated. And I did follow the proceedings of this committee, and I requested that also, being a representative of the people, I get acquainted with what is happening. And as a Member of Parliament, I know the rules. Thank you.
You admitted, but you know you will not say anything. You can see everything, you can hear everything.
Thank you.
But you can't say anything.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Prof,
Yes,
what you are introducing on the variation were not done. We are talking about the original contract as it were for the gate that you paid when work was not done.
And that Chairman, where I was coming in,
Yes.
you will allow me. Prof, you can just enlighten this committee of the extent of work done by the time you are paying, because there must have been an initial contract before you came to variation. The initial contract, was it met by the time you were paying before you came of thinking of doing some variations to put up pentry house and that extra house you are talking about? That initial contract which was talking of the gates, was it honored to the dot? That's the question.
Thank you, through the chair and honorable members. That's why I needed the documentation of this process, so that I can go through and see why. Because I do not see a payment being done if the works were not completed. So I submit, Chair, that I have insufficient documents to carry my argument forward.
The committee directs that you provide Professor Ayiro with all the documentation related to this. Honorable members, we are scheduled to have a joint meeting between ourselves and the Committee of Lands in Moi University. I think it would be appropriate that when we are going on over the issues of land, we will be able to see these things physically and then make a determination of the same. Unless very necessary, Honorable.
Very necessary, Chair. You say the gate has been abandoned, so I presume there is a new gate, Professor Kosgey. 24 million.
There's a new gate.
So 5 times the famous Ayiro gate. And lastly, just to add on what the chair mentioned initially, if you kept to the law of not exceeding the set limit of variations, by going out and asking for new tenders, we wouldn't have been where we are. It would have been considered as a separate job and will not be where we are. Thank you, Chair.
So Professor Kosgey, provide every documentation to Professor Ayiro latest Monday.
Okay, do that, sir.
So that now we handle that issue on the ground. But Professor, why did you change location of the gate?
The location.
And at how much?
Honorable Chair, when we were crumbling this idea of the gate, this one which was abandoned, then we realized it was outside. 80% of it was outside.
Who abandoned it?
Me and the council.
So why did you abandon it?
We abandoned it, Chair, because we received information or a letter from Kera saying the gate was on the highway. And we have a map, evidence document.
Did you listen to Professor Ayiro responding to that question?
Yes, I listened.
Is it true that the dreamers and founders of the university, that is where they envisaged, that was there when the initial gate was?
May I request?
No, Prof, just yes or no?
No. Because the original gate is still there. This one is slightly away from that one.
How far away?
Maybe about 10 meters.
Okay, at how much?
The new gate?
Yes.
Yeah, at 24 million, and we have documentation fully.
Professor?
Yes.
You are down on financial issues as a university. You need to practice austerity measures very seriously, more than anyone else. Why couldn't you just complete the gate that Professor Ayiro had started? Ekera is a government institution.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
If the initial gate was 4 point something million, why do you go to 24 million, Professor?
Honorable Chair, there are two aspects to this. One, the 4.8 was not going to complete that gate. As you are told by the auditor, it was supposed to take, the level it is 60%. The valuation that was done by the internal architect who was designing the gate was 12 million. The works done by public works brought it to 9.9 million. The gate that we have is more comprehensive, and what we were looking at is the face of the university as Professor Ayiro has put it. So it is almost twice.
Do you have the Kera documents to show that it's on the road?
Yeah, we have it, sir.
Yeah, give Honorable Malimu. Malimu, you check through them. But Professor, why 24? You know 24 million are 2 houses. Yeah.
We did everything as per the VQ, Chair. So,
A gate?
yes. And when you come down...
Any technical officer in your team?
Yes.
Any technical officer who was on this project?
Yes, sir.
Kipkule is there.
To what extent were you technical?
I did building economics. So, and I'm a senior maintenance officer in the university.
So,
yes.
24 million?
Yes, there's the aspect of the gates. There are cabros, which are walkways, which are almost 100 meters long. There are security lights. There is a wall. There was the drainage to support the gate. There was ICT. There was CCTV cameras, which are part of the project. Unlike now, the initial one, which was only the gates and the security cards also.
Do you have the BQs?
Yes, we have. We didn't come with it, but we have them.
How can you not come with them, and it's a subject of, yeah. Prof, there's something wrong with your documentation. Earlier on, you had to take us through this. The other time, we had to go through this. It's 2 months now.
The Honorable Chair, with your permission, we focused on the query that was there, the earlier gate. But
we ruled, this committee ruled that when you have a query, you come holistic. Yes, Honorable Sir.
But Chair, is not only documentation. There is the Ayiro gate, Professor Ayiro's gate, which with the 33% variation was to bring us to 6.2 million.
9.2.
9.2, right?
Yeah.
Because the initial figure was what, 4.7. In any case, 9.2. Now there is the, I think, Golden Gate, the Professor Kosgey gate, which must be a golden gate that costed 24 million. Are you trying to say the technical focal point that in what the earlier Vice Chancellor was putting in place, there were no cabros. There were no simple cameras. What will camera cost? It's just the wiring, and I'm sure the cabros were there, right? It was part of the part of the plan. Because what we see in the reign of Professor Kosgey, documentation is poor. There is over expenditure. There is this case of give me 5 minutes, let me, Professor, you're not in touch. You're not in control as the driver of this institution. And it comes up on every case that comes up. What is the problem?
Thank you. With great
Prof,
honor.
what honorable member is saying, there were two aspects added on Professor Ayiro's gate. Allow us to call it that way for the sake of this meeting. There was a pantry and there was an office. Still, that was still just in less than 10 million. Does this get, do you have these two things, two aspects? Justice. Pass it around. Do you have those aspects?
Yeah, we do. We even have a cell. We have.
Do you have an office?
We have 2 offices. Yes.
Pantry?
Yes, we do. Washrooms, CCTV. We have street lights. We have cabros. We have a wall.
Honorable members, let's exhaust this when we see it, because we are going there. Yeah. Still.
I think the best would be if we are there. We get there and then we see exactly what is happening, what is on the ground, and with the documentation, Chair.
Prof, there is a concern that students are taking 1 year to graduate. Why?
Honorable Chair, we have 2 groups, stroke 20 and stroke 2021. So there's a group that finished in December 2021, and those are the ones who have delayed, the only group that has delayed. Reason being, they finished their exams, and then first thing Senate said, we are going to have only 1 graduation. Number 2, they were accelerated group. Number 3, we normally do our external examinations moderation in June. So that's why there's that delay. But it is the only group that has delayed.
Professor Ayiro, we may release you.
Yeah, sure.
You get the documents and then be prepared. We will tell you the day we are going, so that you can join us there.
Thank you, Chairman and the committee. I appreciate the interrogation. This institution is important to us, the National Parliament. Any Kenyan of goodwill center of cohesiveness for our country. So I was glad to come, and I'm glad we have had this information. Just to let the committee know. And me and Professor Kosgey, we sit on many committees. He's my chair in Kenet.
What is Kenet?
Kenet is the Kenya network, the one that supplies fiber optics across universities in Kenya and research institutions, and I'm the chairman of the audit committee. So there's no bad blood between us. Thank you.